Man, back at it again. Oh man, welcome back to For Nostalgic Reasons. And once again, we're gonna try to get this ball rolling again. Uh, Keep this train moving instead of it getting off the tracks this time. But for this one, I want to let you guys know what I've been up to. About not last weekend, but 2 weekends ago, I went on a trip to Denver, Colorado, with my roommate and my other friend, Jared. He's been on the channel before, and let me tell you, that was a whole trip. Yeah, that was a whole trip. Like that was like out there was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was wild. But the way that like kind of got off to like a little bit of a bumpy start. Excuse me. Um, we've been planning like this trip for probably like a month before we actually went, and we were just like going through like some like places. We were like looking up a whole bunch of places that like we've never necessarily been before. Denver actually was the first one on our list, but we started looking up other places like Houston. Florida was an option. Vegas was an option. I forget what else. One more, I think it was Houston, Florida. I forget what the other one was, but anyway, we ended up picking Denver. Got the whole time we gathered up, got the whole entire thing figured out, bought the tickets. The day we actually, or no, like we were supposed to, our flight was set for a Saturday. That Friday in PA, it actually started snowing, like actually really bad. It was like a huge snowstorm, or not a huge snowstorm. It was like a huge snowstorm that was coming, but like it started snowing on Friday. And like the entire time, like I'm at work, I work outside and stuff like that. So I'm like, dang, like is this trip about to get canceled? Like, like I don't, what's going on? So like our whole entire thing was we had a connecting flight. So our first flight was supposed to be from PA to Florida, or no, Georgia, and then Georgia to Colorado. Um, and like the entire time we're just like, I'm like, yo, I don't know, it's getting kind of iffy. And then it started like snowing actually a lot earlier than what it was supposed to. I think Friday it said it was supposed to snow at night or something like that. It ended up snowing like that morning. So I'm like, oh man, like this doesn't look too good. Saturday rolls around, and my roommate hits me up and is like, yo, you won't believe this. Our flight got canceled. We're like, oh my god. I'm like, oh my god. Like I called off. Like I called off for like that Saturday. So I got a whole 3 day weekend. I'm like, yo, like I'm not trying to let this 3 day weekend go to waste. So I'm just like, all right, if we're not going on this trip, like I'm trying to do something. Like I'm not like trying to just like call off and be sitting at home like mad as hell. Like I'm trying to do something. So like my whole entire vibe was like, yo, if we're not going to Colorado, we have to do something else. Like we have to like figure something else out. We have to do something else. I was like, we can go to the Poconos. We can take a drive somewhere. I was like, yo, like I just refuse to sit at home for 3 days and be pissed. Like I just refuse. So then the vibe was just like, I don't know. Like everybody was like so like focused on like trying to go to Colorado and stuff like that. So everybody was like I don't know. So I ended up getting off work. I'm like still like I'm trying to like figure out like in my mind I'm like trying to figure out other things to do. I'm like we should do like I said, we could do anything else. Like we could literally do anything else. Like I just don't want to be home. So a couple hours roll by. It's around like 7 o'clock. So like my roommate comes up. He's like, "Yo, this might be a long shot, but I found a flight that is actually going to Vegas, and then we can take the flight from Vegas to Colorado. But we have to leave like within the next like 20 minutes." So like we ended up calling our friend like Jared and stuff like that. And I'm just like, he's just like, "Yo, like." Find another flight. Like, can you like? Is there any way that you can like get your stuff together and hurry and get packed and like so we can get on the road? We have to like find an Uber. We have to get there. So he was in the middle of like washing his clothes and stuff like that. Like, so we're like, oh my god, like come on, like don't like come on, like we have, and it's nobody's like we aren't blaming anybody. It's nobody's fault. We're just like, yo, like come on, man, like we gotta do something. We gotta hurry and. Is there any way you can hurry up and like get your stuff together? Long story short, on that, we ended up getting like his clothes and everything ready, And we got the Uber, and like in the Uber, we called the Uber to go down to the airport. I'm not gonna hold you. This Uber driver was one of the worst Uber drivers I've ever experienced. I already didn't sleep like that previous night that much, so like I was in the and I like it was like I can't sleep on flights. So in the Uber, I'm just like, all right, like if I can just fall asleep, just get some type of sleep, so because I already know I'm gonna be like wide awake in the airplane. I'm just like I just have to try to get some sleep. So I like ended up dozing off, but like I'm still like conscious of everything that's going on. So like I'm like dozing off a little bit, like eyes closed, just resting, and I just feel like a whole bunch of like jerking around, like he's slamming on the brakes, and we're just like, bro, like are we gonna make it? And I kind of hear them, but like I'm not necessarily paying like too much attention, but like they're just like, yo, like what's going on? And like we're all like crunched up in the back seat and stuff, so like I'm just listening to like I'm just like, yo, what's going on and stuff like that. But I was just like, yo, I'm just like trying to catch some sleep, but that Uber driver was like all over the place. Ended up getting to the airport on time. Then we tried to hurry up and check our bags in, and this lady that we run into was like, "Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa!" Like she like stops us, like, "Whoa, whoa, like what flight are you guys looking for?" And we're like, we're getting to the flight to Las Vegas." And she's like, "Oh, well, you guys missed it." She's like, like you guys aren't going to make it." And we're just like, "What are you talking about?" Like we got there at like 8:30. Like we got there at like 9. The flight didn't board until like 9:45. So we're like, "What are you talking about? Like, we're early." She's like, "Oh, we still gotta go to TSA, still gotta do all this stuff, and like that line over there, that's the line to get your bags checked in." We're like, "All right, but like you're stopping us for no reason. Number one, like we could have already been in line. Like you're like if you're not gonna help us, like what are you doing?" And she was just like giving us bad news and stuff, like just trying to like derail our trip. We're just like, "Yo, like back, like why are you like I feel like she like thrived off of like giving everybody bad news." And she was just like so hyped, like, "Yeah, you guys missed your flight." And she like had a like little smirk on her face. And we're just like, "Bro, like." Waste somebody else's time. We're not the ones. Ended up getting in line, got the TSA, we're cool. Ended up making the flight. And so get on the flight and I find out that like my phone was dead and there was no way to charge it on the plane. I'm just like, bro, like I can't sleep on an airplane already. And I'm like, I found like where our seats were, we're all like sitting like we're all sitting together and stuff like that. It was like a row of 3. So like I'm sitting in the middle and I'm just like, bro, like I can't lean one way or the other. Like the seats were like already like so like my knees, like I could barely stretch my knees or my legs out. I'm just like, bro, like what is going on? Like this is drawing. And I already have kind of anxiety about like flying a little bit anyway. I'm just like, bro, I'm gonna be up for 5 hours. Just I can't fall asleep, and I'm just sitting there like, yo. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So ended up getting in the air, going on the flight. That was actually one of the best flights I've been on. Besides like the fact of me being bored, because I was bored as I don't know what. But like there was not that much turbulence. Like the worst part for me, like flying, is takeoff, because I don't like the feeling of when you're going up in the air. Like I feel like that sinking stomach or that sinking feeling in my stomach. I hate that. And the turbulence when you're in the air. But I'm not necessarily afraid of heights. So like if I had my preference on like what seat to choose on a plane, I would love to have the window seat so I can just look like outside and see what's going on. Like that part makes me feel a little bit better, which is weird because I don't know what. But like actually looking outside the window and seeing like the wing of the plane and just seeing like everything down below, like that actually makes me feel better. So, but sitting in the middle seat, I couldn't see anything that was going on. I was like, oh god. But like I said, flight wise, it was cool. Ended up making it to Vegas. We had a layover for like we got to Vegas at like 1:30ish. And our next flight wasn't until 4:30 West Coast time. So like we got there at 1:30. We had to wait 3 hours. Ended up passing out like on the floor, trying to like charge my phone so I can have like, at least some music to listen to on the flight back to Colorado. And that was like the floor, like sleeping on the floor was so uncomfortable. But ended up making it to Colorado. Once again, flight was cool. Nothing really happened. Flight was cool. Got to Colorado and like just looking at the mountains and stuff like that. Even when we were flying in, like I was looking out, I was looking outside the window and stuff like that. I'd actually had a whole row to myself. But when I was looking outside, like the sun was rising, and I'm just like, yo. First off, I didn't realize that there were little pockets of like because everything like from up above, like in a plane and stuff like that, it just looked like it was all mountains. And then like if you look like real close to there's like little small like towns, little small like houses and stuff like that. But it's like a weird. I feel like that was like just like such a weird place to put like for somebody to live. Like you're living like in the middle of nowhere type of thing. But like they had little houses and stuff like that. But everything like especially from that height just looks so amazing. I'm just like, yo, like that it looked dope as I don't know what. And like I said, we got to our room, got to our hotel and everything. Or got to Denver, went to the hotel. When we were in the Uber, like my friends were asking him like a whole bunch of like questions about like what to look out for, like what's stuff to do in Colorado. And he was just like, there's not like Colorado's not or Denver's not necessarily known for like the nightlife, but like there's like a couple things to do and stuff like that. He was just giving us a couple things to do. Got there, ended up going to first things first. Had to go to the dispensary, and when we were at the dispensary, in PA you have to have your medical marijuana card in order to get like buy anything from any like dispensary or anything. There, weed's legal there, so we went. Smooth in. Only thing we had to do was like wear a mask and everything, and have our IDs and everything. Went in there and they had like some edibles in there. They had a whole bunch of like little chocolates. They had, of course, they had a whole bunch of different like weed and stuff like that. I actually saw that they had cannabis infused orange soda, and I was just looking at it. I'm like, bro, there's no way. Like, there's no way in the world like that's doing anything. And I'm just like, but I'm like intrigued. I'm like, bro, it's orange soda, but it's like. Weed. I was like, does it taste like weed? Like I don't like. I was just so curious. Ended up buying it, and I'm not gonna hold you. All the pictures we took when we were out there, because like pretty much the entire time we was out there, we were like smoking and stuff like that. And we were smoking like the hotel room. We had the bathroom fried. Like we were hotboxing the bathroom and stuff like that. But every single photo, all the videos and stuff, all the photos of me, I'm just like my eyes are like. My eyes are just low as I don't know what, and that joke I was like, yeah, I was definitely like baked the entire time. But we ended up going to a couple like nightclubs and stuff just to see what was like in the Bulls, right? Like the nightclub wasn't that popping. There was one club that was out there. It was like a Latina type of club, and they had that joint jumping like to the point where like as soon as you walk in, there's already people they had like a narrow kind of hallway. So there's people already hanging out on the sides. If you walk in on the right-hand side, they had like a bar over here. And then if you keep going forward, they had the DJ table like all the way on the right-hand side. They had places where you can check in your coat. Like it was so packed in there, we couldn't even check in our coat. And literally like once you got to like right where the coat part was, literally like everyone's dancing and stuff, and you could not walk through. Like everybody was like having a good time. Everybody was partying and stuff like that. The whole entire place was jumping, but like it was so crowded. Like I'm like, yo, no, not a soul in here cares about Rona. I know for a fact no one cares about the vid. Like not even a little bit. Everybody's mask off, getting money. Like everybody's in there getting like going crazy, everybody's in there getting it, and we ended up. I was so mad because we had to pay $20 to get in, and it was like jumping. We were just like, I don't know. We ended up leaving, and I was like kind of mad that we spent $20 to get in there. I'm not going with you. Like we left, like after like about like 45 minutes, and I think there was like a fight. No, I think what happened, there was a fight or something like that was going on outside. And literally as soon as we walked outside, they was like, oh, like I heard the like security guard behind me was like, oh yeah, don't let nobody else in. And like they gave us like wristbands and stuff like that, and I took mine off. I'm like, bro, they like not even letting anybody. And I'm like, bro, like I just wasted $20. But I was like, it is what it is. Like I'm on vacation. I was gonna spend money. I was gonna spend money no matter what. So like if it wasn't on that, it was gonna be on something else. So I wasn't too mad about it. But I was like, dang, like we didn't even do anything. But they had a couple other clubs out there that wasn't that popular. The Latina club was definitely like the most hyped one. Saw like a whole bunch of like homeless people out there. I didn't realize how like at least in like the center city of like Denver. Like it was like homeless people like pretty much on like every block, and I was like, dang, like it's kind of wild. Like I've never seen it like that. Like I've seen kind of like homeless people like in like Philly. I've seen it in Vegas. I've seen it, but like not to the point where it's like literally every single block had like at least like 3 homeless people just like chilling like with their like cardboard signs and this that and the other. So that was like kind of weird, but was out of pocket. But did that. We ended up having one of our childhood friends lived out there. We all went to middle school with him, hung out with him, reconnected with him. Went to his crib, like we was chilling, talking, catching up. He took us to we all went out to brunch and stuff like that. Or not brunch, I think it was more I think it was like a brunch area, a brunch restaurant type of thing. Got something to eat there. He took us to this one, I forget what the place is called, but it's like they do a whole bunch of like festivals and concerts there, and the whole entire like area is like the bleachers, and then like the stage is all made out of like the mountains and stuff like that, like out of rock and stuff like that. And the view down there looked incredible. I'm just looking at it, I'm like, bro, like that joint looks wild. Like I'm just trying to imagine how it would like look to have like a whole concert there. Like they had the whole entire like the like what is it, I guess the venues or whatever, like the places where they sell like tickets, and then like the houses or whatever where they sell, not houses, but like the structures or whatever where they sell tickets and food and stuff like that. They had all that stuff there. And yeah, like it was just, like I said, the whole entire trip was dope. Like it was dope just like being in a whole other state. That was the first time I've traveled since October of 2020. So like all last year, I didn't go anywhere. Like first, I moved into my apartment last year, and I kind of made it, like I got so comfortable with just like staying in the house and like being at home and like having my own space. I was so hyped about that. So like I didn't really feel the need to like, I wasn't like urgent to like, I wasn't in a rush to like hurry up and try to travel that much last year. And plus in 2020, like I drove cross country to Vegas, and I was in LA. I drove from Vegas to LA. I traveled a lot in 2020. So 2021, I kind of took a little bit of a break. But this year, that was the first time I traveled this year, and it was a time to remember. I'm not even gonna hold you. That was our first time that me, my roommate, and my friend Jared all like traveled out of state together. Like we all hung out of state. Like me and my roommate like hung out in Georgia one time. Me and Jared actually went out, and when I moved to Vegas, he just so happened to like live out there at the same time I was. So like I was chilling with him out there. Technically we drove to all three of us drove to like New Jersey, I think, but like does that really count? That doesn't really count. But yeah, that was the first time like all of us been on the plane together. That was the first time all of us like really like traveled like out of state. And it was a dope time, you know. Like it was definitely a dope ass time. Like I said, it was dope catching up with my mans out there, and it was dope, man. But yeah, that's how my first vacation of 2022 went. But just a little short video. I just want to share that with you guys. But until next time, which won't be that long from now, I promise. Until next time, peace out, y'all.